Hi folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another checklist / top tips video for you, this time to help you get on top of all your financial paperwork. Come on, admit it, you haven't done your filing for months. If you're new here, my name is Pete Matthew. I'm a chartered financial planner based in Cornwall in the UK, and I've been putting up content on YouTube for more than 10 years, giving you everything you need to know and everything you need to do to secure your financial future. Most people are terrible at managing their paperwork, financial or otherwise. We all have better stuff to do. Today, I have an annoyingly uneven 11-step checklist to help you get on top of it. I would prefer if it was 10 points, but there you go. Firstly, set a date. This is likely not going to be a quick process, so I suggest that you take out your calendar and identify when you've got a couple of hours at least to have a run at this process. Step 2, order supplies. There are a bunch of things that you might want to have handy to make this process quick and easy. Firstly, a storage box or a filing cabinet. Depending on how much stuff you have, you might need one of those. Don't get one of those concertina storage things. They get heavy really quickly and can be quite unwieldy. A proper hard plastic filing box will be better, one that can take hanging files, or a filing cabinet if you've got room. You're going to need hanging files, square cut folders, a label maker if you like things to be neat, and a Sharpie if you're happy with handwritten labels. Get a highlighter and a staple remover too. And you're going to need to shred anything that you discard which has got any personal details on it. So get a shredder too if you haven't got one. I've got links to examples of all these things in the description below. 3, get everything together. Go through the house and gather together every piece of disorganized paperwork that you can find. Don't sort it as you go. Get everything together in one massive pile. It's going to look worse before it gets better. Step 4, do an initial sweep. Work through the pile from top to bottom, getting rid of all envelopes and anything which is obviously not needed, like flyers or marketing material. As you go through, look for policy or account numbers and highlight them, along with the name of the person who owns the account and the date. This is going to make your life much easier by drawing your eye to this important information later on. Put every unique account number, the paperwork to do with that, in its own pile, so that you end up with one pile per item. Step 5, get things in date order. Take each pile, one at a time, and sort the paperwork out into date order with the most recent document at the top, the oldest document at the bottom. That way, the most recent stuff that you need to look at is right where you need it. Step 6, decide on any action. As you're working through the piles, ask yourself, is there anything I need to do with this document, account, investment thing? If so, then make a note of the action you need to take on a separate piece of paper. Don't be distracted by taking action now. Nothing will be lost by waiting a few hours, a few days even, until your paperwork is in order. Just make a note of what it is that you've got to do and carry on with your organization. If you don't need to take any action right now, then you have a binary question that you need to answer. Should you keep this piece of paper or destroy it? Okay, let me just take 10 seconds out to say thank you to my sponsors, 7 Investment Management. They've been helping me out here for 10 years, which is just incredible. So definitely check out what they're up to at 7im.co.uk. Back to the checklist. Step 7, eliminate. Get rid of anything you don't need and, hear me now, be brutal. For most things, you don't need to keep any more than the last year's statement or information. Anything tax related, you should keep for at least 2 years after the end of the tax year to which it relates. Receipts or guarantees should be kept for as long as you own the item to which they relate. Step 8, work on all your other stuff. Until now, we've talked largely about financial paperwork, but what about other things? One of the best hacks I ever learned was to keep documentation regarding items in your house in a file named after the room where that item lives. So keep your toaster receipt and guarantee in a file marked kitchen, because that's where the toaster lives. The pressure washer receipt and guarantee can be in a file marked garage. You get the idea. This is much easier than trying to keep an alphabetical list of every item in your home. You know where the item lives, so you can easily go to the file for that room and find what you're looking for. Number 9, group into categories. As you've been going through your paperwork, you'll have gained some familiarity with it. So you should now be able to assign each pile of paper to a broad category. Now, I only use 6 categories. Financial, anything to do with your accounts, investments, pensions, stuff like that. Work, payslips, P60s, contracts, annual review documents. Medical, obviously on medical records, dental records, details of any upcoming or past appointments. Insurance, car insurance, house insurance, life, medical insurance, pet insurance. Any insurance documents live in this file. How many times can you say the word insurance in one sentence? Cars, anything to do with your cars, such as service records, MOT certificates, logbook, details of any repairs. And finally, rooms. This should hold any paperwork pertaining to items in each room, as we talked about earlier. Some items might logically fall into more than one category, but your system is going to be organized enough, it'll still be easy to find what you're looking for. Step 10, create and fill the files. So you need to work one category at a time. Take the paperwork for each account or item and place it in its own square cut folder. Write or create a label showing what's in that folder. Drop the folder into a hanging file and label that. This might seem like overkill, but it means that you can easily reach into a hanging file, pull out the folder, do your filing, and then replace it. Trust me, I've been doing this for years. I've done it with lots of clients. It works really well as a system. And finally, step 11, archive or destroy. Now that your files are tidy, you've got to decide what to do with all the stuff that you've discarded. If you're worried about destroying anything permanently, you could always archive it in a box somewhere, perhaps in the loft. Personally, I prefer to be brutal and get rid of everything. Chances are you can always get copies, download from the internet or from providers or whatever, should you need to. But if in doubt, or if you're worried about any of this, keep it. Obviously, make sure you shred anything with any personal details on. Don't just throw it away in the rubbish. A few comments here on last week's video, which was the first one that we did in this new format. George Agan of Principles Personal Finance says, studio and production looks great, Pete. Really like the new format for YouTube. Coming from you, George, sir, that's a real compliment. So thank you. Definitely check out George's channel. I'll put a link to it up there. Michael Salim says, liking this new production format, Pete. You have really upped the levels recently. Huge difference. Not saying they were bad before. I love how you felt like you needed to qualify your comment there, Michael, but thank you for your support and for your encouragement. I really appreciate it. I'm enjoying the new format as well. I'm glad that you are. And Pankaj says, brilliant, Pete. Thank you. The short, sharp format is great. Many thanks. Pankaj, I'm really glad that you like it. I like it too. Keep your comments coming because I'm responding to them at the end of each video. Now, to the outro. Okay, I hope that was helpful, folks. You can download a printable version of the checklist from the Meaningful Money website. There's a link under the video. If it's been useful, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notifications so you hear when we put a new video up. All these things really help the channel, so thank you in advance, and I'll see you in the next video. You too.